Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show.
Rise Up Morning Show.
Woohoo! Happy Monday. Today is February 10th. It's the day after the Super Bowl, and though the Super Bowl was not very exciting, one of the things I wanted to share with everybody that you may or may not have seen during the big game was we got a new meme token. An entire country launched a meme coin.
What?
I sent Alex this link.
Is it real?
Is it?
There's a
Oh,
lot
it's
of-
real. So
it?
far as I know, it's real. So let's talk
really?
about it.
What?
Click into it. So let's
Was it
catch
the-
Will and everybody else up. Go ahead.
I know
Will.
this isn't a country, but I would love for the province of Ontario to have released a meme coin after their random ass Ontario commercial.
No, I missed the Ontario commercial. Was there a good advertisement for Ontario?
Yeah, it was just a commercial about Ontario, and I was like, "Well, this seems like a snub at Trump." It's like,
Oh my gosh.
Well, first of all, it absolutely,
it absolutely was. Yeah.
I'm sure it was. So I sent Alex a tweet about it, and housed in that tweet is the tweet about launching the token. And then I also sent in the deck screener page. So while we're pulling it up, let us know what you thought. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you watch the memes? Did you pick a winner? And how are you this morning? Let us know. We're going to get into some market talk. We're going to get into some altcoin season talk. And then we're going to talk a little about the scams and schemes you might get trapped up in. But first, of course, our friend Mert says, went off to the gym, came back, and an entire country in Africa launched a meme coin on Solana. And the tweet he is quoting is
the
from
tweet he quote.
yeah, Faustin Archange Touadera. Click into that. They are launching CAR, an experiment designed to show how something as simple as a meme can unite people, support national development, and put the Central African Republic on the world stage in a unique way. He is the president of the Central African Republic, and it takes great pride in being the second president in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, and then has launched a website. So there it is.
Because the debate was that several AI deepfake flaggers flagged the video as being not real. Some flagged it as being real, some flagged it as being not real. The follow-up to this was that the Maldives also announced that they were going to launch a meme in the wake of this happening.
No way.
And so the debate was like, is this an elaborate government official Twitter account hack? But I think we would have probably heard by now if it was indeed a hack.
Yeah, totally.
Although there was the funniest tweet that I saw about the whole thing was someone saying, I swear to God, if you send this thing higher than the GDP of the Central African Republic, we're going to
Okay, so now click over to the deck screener page, though, because I want you to see the life cycle of this meme. This meme caught my attention last night. I was, of course, on deck screener because I was looking for, what did I buy? I bought Eagles, I bought Chiefs, I bought Kendrick, I bought a minor token.
Nice.
That one did a 2x for me, but the memes were so volatile last night. But I saw this one and saw it was number one on deck screener by volume. And as you can see, it had a pretty epic rise up to almost, I don't know if you guys can see that here, almost $1 billion in market cap yesterday. It's sitting at $250 million market cap right now, and was not quite 4 times that big. It was about 3 times that large at its peak yesterday. So I don't know. It looks like a lot of people, according to that big green candle, are buying the dip on the Central African Republic. But I just thought, what a wild time to be alive. The Chiefs token and the Eagles token, for comparison, only ever reached market caps of like $2 million. So bigger than the Super Bowl, the Central African Republic last night. What do you think?
I
mean,
I have no thoughts to share. I mean, like, if they released a meme coin as a country, that's just dumb. But
this is the
it's
upside
a
down
thing.
Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Like, I challenge someone to think of a thing and try to come up with something that would be genuinely surprising at this point.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm struggling to think of what would make me go oh my God.
No, I fully support this now. You want to know why I fully support this? I fully support this because the African Prince email has now become the meme coin, and it's just the full evolution of scams, and it's perfect.
It's just
Perfect.
like genuinely, if I try to think what would, because when I saw this, so I'm like scrolling on Twitter, honestly, just like looking for Super Bowl hot takes, because I don't know. I know almost nothing about football. I know just enough to like watch the game and vaguely follow what's going on. So I'm like, watching people's reactions to stuff, because like when the refs say something, I don't know if it's a bad call or a good call. I don't fucking care. And I see this, and I'm like, scroll. That was the full like spectrum of my reaction to a sovereign nation launching its own meme coin, and I'm just like, yeah,
Of course it did. Anyway,
we deserve to go to zero. I am very grateful that we did not get a Super Bowl crypto commercial, because it would have been awful, and I'm relieved.
yeah, that was nice. I actually didn't
even.
even realize that I should have been looking for one until I saw your tweet, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
I was genuinely worried about it for days leading up to the game.
I was like, it's not Matt Damon on the moon again. There we go. All right, cool.
No, but
it was every celebrity in the world doing something for somebody. I was like, wow.
This theme was truly just cram as many celebrities into nonsense commercials as you possibly can. The only one, this was a little sad. The only one that I like truly enjoyed was the one with the sloths.
The sloths. I laughed out loud at that one. Yeah, when it said slow speed chase.
I didn't like it.
He throws the cannon, and it's like trying to catch and just shatters on the wall behind it and just keeps going.
I did like the sloths. There were a couple of them that I liked.
Christine and I agree that was about the only enjoyable commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, that one didn't tickle my fancy.
Well, okay. Which one was your favorite?
I forget the actor's name, but he's the guy with the ridiculous eyebrows, and I just love that little Caesar.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
Eyebrows. Yeah, Eugene Levy. I love Eugene Levy. I just love that they made him and then had caterpillars worshiping his
what
eyebrows.
A coincidence that the Bagel Puffs and also Pringles had flying iconic facial hair commercials.
Iconic facial hair commercials, which was interesting. Yeah. Right. Didn't call that. The Super Bowl commercials were very bullish on mustaches. Maybe I should put mine back on. And
you should never have taken it off, you quitter.
I know, right? I'd say, I go back and forth. Keep the people on their toes. You never know what you're going to expect. Also, if my comment section is just feel like it's starting to peter out, mustache, because then people will be like, bring the beard back, and mustache looks good. It increases engagement.
Manipulating the people with your facial hair.
Exactly. And the other commercial I like the Doritos commercial.
I didn't like it. The aliens.
With the Dorito launched and blew up the UFO. I enjoyed that. And then I also enjoyed I always enjoyed the Budweiser commercial if they keep it to the horses. And it was like the pony, and he like wanted to work, and he kept
I thought it was wasn't it Post Malone and Shane Gillis and the cul-de-sac
That was Bud Light.
No.
That was Bud Light.
Whatever.
They actually that was a shortened version. Kim and I were looking forward to that, and the commercial they aired was like half the length. You can find it on TikTok. It's like a whole tear-jerking story of this horse's journey to bring that barrel back. He gets lost in a river at one point in time. I mean, it's like,
oh my god,
come on, little guy. It's
so dramatic. Bring back like horror PTSD moments of Oregon Trail for me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So okay, let us know.
I was bearish on the Super Bowl commercials this year.
Everyone's bearish on the Super Bowl commercials every year. I always feel like the Super Bowl commercials were better in the past, but I'm not quite sure if that's just me being like, back in my day, the commercials were actually funny. If it's nostalgia. But I feel like everyone has that, where it's like the Super Bowl commercials were better in the past, right?
I think that you're right, because I mean we just commented on it, right? Like this year was truly just like, how many celebrities can we get into how many commercials? And it kind of clouded like the ones that were genuinely funny with celebrity plants, like the one with the Hellman's commercial with when Harry met Sally. Like that would have been a fun reference. I would have enjoyed that if it hadn't been sandwiched by cramming Matthew McConaughey into two different companies' commercials, and also Matt Damon being David Beckham's brother for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of celebrities.
Also, being a Bostonian, and you had the Dun King commercial be as bad as it was, and then there was a dude who you could not recognize submerged into a barrel of beans, and that was like, and everyone was just like, "Who is this guy?" And then we had to look him up, and we're like, "Is he from Boston?" Or like, He's not one of the Boston guys. Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, it's
Matt-
bread, circuses and
Matt
bread.
talked about the seal commercial, and that was when Christine was like, "I'm officially over this. I can't."
Oh
believe
yeah,
Seal
that
did
the seal as a seal was a terrible commercial.
That was
But-
Agree.
terrible.
Circuses
but
and bread.
hey, boobies are great. So that was awesome. That was the best.
And on that
commercial.
note, I
Totally
need to
forgot.
know what commercial you enjoyed. We need to hear what meme coins you bought and what other newsworthy things you saw yesterday. We're going to give you a little bit of a market update. That's your cue, Will. So get ready. But first, I want to tell you that if you're not connected to the Rise Up Morning Show, we're live 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, to answer your crypto questions, to help you get onboarded to this space in a safe way so that you can become a confident crypto user. We're live Wednesday nights with our expert friends who share their perspective on this burgeoning industry and to model what it's like to do your own crypto research. In the meantime, the show lives 24/7 at our Discord server, which is on the screen, discord.gg/riseup. It's totally free to join, and all of our other resources live there. And I do want to tell you about the premium resources just very quickly because the prices are going up on those. If you get a premium membership, you will get discounts to everything we offer. You will get additional access to us, free access to all the PDF guides Alex makes. You'll get to hang out in office hours and ask your questions with me. Will take TA requests from you. It's a very valuable part of our community where the most dedicated and engaged learners go to accelerate their journey, save time and money. And it is the time for you to try it. Free trial, 7 days free. You can find out more about it at theriseupmorningshow.com. The moral of the story is you don't have to pay a dime to learn anything with us. But if you want to accelerate your learning journey, we definitely can help you. And the prices are going up soon. So we'd love for you to get in at this rate or get a free trial. Meet your new best crypto friend, because really, truly, the best way to learn this stuff is to join a community of other learners so you can keep each other safe. You can look out for scams together. You can spot opportunities. And we say, rise up together. Our community is great, and really, the only thing that's missing is you. So, if you have questions about that, let us know. Otherwise, I'll see you there after the show. Will, in amidst the market chaos, what is actually, in fact, happening with crypto?
Well,
Nothing.
it's still a little boring, but Bitcoin has had a little bit of a bounce today. If you've been watching my Bitcoin update videos, I didn't do one the other day just because this weekend I had a real hard time just like looking at my phone. I've just been it was too much, so I had to take Sunday off, and Saturday had to be a light day. So I needed it. Anyway, the market today started to have a little bit of a bounce. If you're watching my Bitcoin update videos, you said, "Hey, I've been saying hey for the past 3-4 days or so. Looks like we're going to start to get a little bit of a relief rally." But what also happened is on Saturday or Sunday, and today is being enacted, tariffs on aluminum or aluminium, if you're across the pond with your terrible teeth. Sorry, Keith. Keith, I don't know. Keith, I don't know if you have bad teeth or not. I just know you're on the other side of the pond.
Keith has beautiful teeth. Thank you very
I'm
much.
sorry.
Keith has good teeth
You have
vibes,
beautiful
for sure.
He has good teeth vibes. That's for sure.
We have
Sorry,
plenty of god awful teeths in the United States.
No. I like to fight. with the British. It's fun, and then they get to make fun of us, and we get to go have a nice little back and forth. It's great.
Matt in the comments said, "This is America being made great again." I think he was referring to something else, but I'm going to take it as the teeth remark. So
yeah,
good
it's
job,
the teeth
Matt.
remarks. Anyway, sorry, Keith. Stay here. We love you. But yeah, so so the tariffs, Bitcoin and crypto had a quick reaction to it, and then quickly recovered. And then we started had a little bit of a relief rally in Bitcoin. Didn't really spread too much into other altcoins though, from what I've seen. Now, the thing looking into this week is, if you look at some of my favorite indicators, like the stochastic RSI you hear me talk about all the time, Bitcoin and Ethereum are oversold on the daily time frame and now the weekly time frame as well, on both the spot chart and the futures chart as well. So oversold territories is here right now. And that's typically a really good time to be buying if you haven't been buying, or if you have a little bit of cash, to be dollar cost averaging once a week or so. But for the most part, Bitcoin's weekly chart is screaming consolidation to me still. So don't expect like a big move up or anything crazy, right? Typically recoveries after a big steaming drive downwards, it takes a little bit for the bulls to pause that momentum and then start to have gigantic gains. So it's just kind of how things tend to work, right? Takes a little bit of time to slam the brakes and stop the bus in either direction. And then the move upward tends to be pretty dramatic. So again, quick summary. Consolidation for Bitcoin, about what we expect on longer term timeframes, but we are seeing oversold on a bunch of different indicators right now, signifying that we are damn near close to the end. But stock market hasn't had an opportunity to react to the new tariffs, which are fairly large. And so the stock market in the beginning of this week should have an opportunity to react. Probably it's going to be bearish, more likely than not. Also, the candles in the stock market look a little bearish to me also right now. So the stock market could sell off a little bit. That could bleed off into crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins again. But, you know, that would be, to me, the final sell-off. Stocks close out the gap, find a new area of support. Bitcoin and Ethereum are very oversold on daily and weekly timeframes. Time to start to see a little bit of a rally afterwards. What could trigger that is as early as this Wednesday, and potentially on Thursday. Because on Wednesday, we get CPI inflation data. And on Thursday, we get PPI inflation data. CPI inflation, for those of you who don't know, that is inflation that you feel at the cash register, no matter where you go. PPI inflation is the inflation felt by like a retailer buying goods from a manufacturer or a retailer buying goods from a CPG company, something like that, right? It's a business-to-business inflation that will typically then get pushed off to consumers. So we get those data points. So if inflation comes in good on Wednesday, Thursday, that will alleviate some of the fears that, you know, Jerome Powell won't be able to start cutting rates until way later in the year. Right now, there are a lot of fears that Jerome Powell absolutely will not be cutting rates until far later in the year because the U.S. economy is super, super, super strong. So there's no need for him to apply relief since the U.S. economy is very strong right now. And inflation has been a little sticky. So that's the quick overall market update. That's why Wednesday, Thursday, if we get good inflation data, could be a boost immediately for stocks and therefore Bitcoin and crypto. But today, Tuesday, could be a little tough, probably a little bearish. So just get ready for that. And that's the quick market update. A few other things I could talk about, but I've been talking for a while. So, you know.
I think that's a good place to pause. And I feel like the direction, first of all, I want to give you your roses because it was a beautiful, concise update. There is a lot of back and forth, up and down right now. We're going to get tariffs, but then maybe we're going to get some good data. And we're oversold, so maybe we're expecting these assets to go up soon. But nobody really knows what's going to happen. And over the weekend, when I was talking to Alex, something he mentioned, and I know you've made videos about this, Alex, is just this philosophy that we always talk about, that it's good to have a plan for everything, because what if you're wrong? Like, what if we're wrong and this is not going to be the year of prosperity? What if the top is already in, et cetera, et cetera? And I kind of thought maybe you would unpack that a little bit for us. And in the context of like this economic moment, we could talk back and forth and help our audience kind of make sense of it and maybe make a plan if they're not thinking in that direction. You want to take it? Yeah.
So I've made a couple videos about it because I'm not seeing much, and I don't even know necessarily that it's fully like my belief. I just, you know, like I keep saying, I want to present a perspective that you might not have considered, or you might have just written off as being bullshit. I would challenge you to not write that off because it makes you angry, not because you can't poke a hole in it. So, you know, essentially, what if you're wrong is just, and I say this all the time. I was talking to Doug over the weekend. I don't do charts. I'm not a technical analyst. I'm not an economist. I'm not an expert on like what is happening globally, economically, and how it could impact markets up, down, whatever. But I am extremely tapped in to the industry. And so the vibe that I'm getting right now is confused, which is an interesting one. And it kind of screams to me like flat, slightly down, at least short term. You know, short term is anybody's guess. And that's literally what this whole thing is. It's a game of trying to guess what's going to happen in the short term. Long term, we can be bullish on all sorts of things. You know, one of the things that contributes to my short term, unknown, choppy, bearish, whatever, is that Bitcoin is strong as shit and it's weird. We've never had a cool off. It never cratered. There's a gap at 77K that we've not even come close to walking towards, and that's weird.
And nor will it, in my opinion.
It's weird to me that we went over 100K and then we've been there the whole time. There's also some interesting decoupling happening vibe-wise. So one thing that gave me a little bit of bullish hope was yesterday, actually, on the tariff announcement, or the new tariff announcement. Crypto was like, okay, we already did the tariff selling. You can hit us with 1 million more tariffs from here to Kingdom Come, and we don't give a shit anymore. We've moved on. We are not paying attention anymore.
Well, I think that's part of the stock market too. But sorry, continue.
Well, and I just figured because it's over the weekend, but usually we would have gotten a bigger crypto sell-off on Sunday, expecting, like you said, Will, a bigger stock market dump on Monday.
Yes, correct.
And we didn't really get that. And in fact, Solana went up, which made perfect sense. I totally expected Solana to pump a little bit, few percent.
Amy must have bought.
Super Bowl. Well, just because
Amy mentioned, yeah, exactly.
I sold at 205, by the way.
Gasp.
But just because people wanted to gamble on Super Bowl memes, and where are you going to do that? There's only one network you're going to do that on, and what are you going to do? You're going to buy Sol. This has literally been my case forever. It's like, hey, if all this shit's happening on Sol, and then things happen that people want to do crypto stuff about, they're going to do it on Solana. So hold Sol. So that was one thing that gave me a little bit of bullish encouragement. But overall, if you dig through Twitter, the big personalities, the people who I don't like to say they drive, but I think they're good pulse checks, because the way that they're usually bandwagony. So if big smart money is saying something, you usually just parrot it. So these people are tired, they're disagreeing, they're angry, they're confused, they're bored, and to me that excites me, because it means hey, we might be flat or range down for a while. And I know for a fact, because I've been yelling this into the void for years, and every time markets are screaming and I'm like, don't fucking leave when it gets boring again, everyone's like, I can't wait for it to get boring. It gets boring for 1 week and everyone pieces the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I see you, and your words mean nothing to me. But
that's a clip. I see you and your words mean nothing to me.
Words mean nothing to me.
That's a clip right there.
I'm just waiting, man. I am waiting for a bear market, and I'm waiting to see. I've been taking notes, and I'm waiting to see who's going to hang out with me for the whole bear market whenever it is, because I bet you it's going to be 3 of you.
What a cozy pitch.
And then
what a cozy pitch. Wow.
Well, at some point it's going to get super bullish again, and I'm going
turns to camera here. I don't believe in any of you. Oh, Dad's hard. Dad says, and then just shaming people to go along with him and do the boring chores that you don't want to do on Sunday morning.
I'm going through the 7 stages of grief with how disinterested people are becoming because it's boring.
Looking at your son who's not working hard in school anymore, just giving him a talking to. I got those vibes pretty hard.
There's a few things that are that you can count on. One of them is that next bull run, I will have a lower entry price into everything than you, and you will be salty about it. And I will tell you, well, where were you when I was hanging out by myself for the entire bear market?
And then annoyingly, Alex will be like, I'm not a good trader. Here's my average buy. And then he'll be like, I'm not a good trader at all. And then he tells you what his mom's doing, and she's out trading 95% of the market.
It's just because I sit if I were to sit here and look at a chart and be like, okay, let's do this, lose, that's how it would go.
Let's do this. Blue.
Honestly, me too. Yeah. No, I exclusively lost money last night, except when I didn't follow what I wanted to do and was like, no, this thing is up, I'm gonna sell it. Or whatever. Yeah, everything else, lost money. I broke even in the meme coin casino last night with my $50 spin. Oh, okay, but hang on, Alex. That's a very flavorful take. Will, I know you have a lot of thoughts to respond, because I feel like you said something early on in Alex's thing there about when he said there's a gap at 76 that might be, and you said, I don't think it'll get filled. I feel like that's exactly the sentiment right now, though. It's you got Arthur Hayes over here saying Bitcoin could go as low as 75,000, and every Twitter influencer being like, Arthur Hayes, wah, wah, wah. And then wah, wah, wah. I don't know. That's their flagellation.
Does whenever they see Arthur Hayes. Wow.
But so then you got somebody like you over here who's like, no, man, it's not going down there. So that's what I'm saying is like, how is our audience supposed to make sense of this at this time?
I would say do not pay attention to what people say and follow the numbers, right? I'm a numbers guy. You know, numbers don't lie to you. Numbers can't lie to you. Numbers can't be wrong about
For
stuff.
anyone
so
keeping
just,
track, this is the exact opposite of what I was just yelling about.
yeah,
Right.
But I would say
You got to have multiple
Well,
perspectives. So
here's one thing too. I'm talking about Bitcoin. I'm not talking about altcoins. Altcoins have shown that like it's a very difficult market right now. It's because the ETFs make it hard for Bitcoin liquidity to flow into the altcoins. And there are more altcoins out there, which I think is a weaker argument, but I think one you can add to it. Reason why I think it's a weak argument is because like 99% of those projects are dead. So like, who cares if there's a ton of projects out there? 99% are dead. No one's playing with them, right? But then also like the meme coins, definitely an argument in there because new liquidity comes in. They go to meme coins first. They get liquidated. They don't have any more money to invest immediately. They can't buy into something that goes up, actually make some money and start to take that and go into other things. Or at the very least, their liquidity gets dried up so quickly that, you know, it doesn't really affect to help boost the markets. Anyway, I'm going on a different tangent than what I wanted to talk about. So I'm talking about Bitcoin, right? I'm not talking about altcoins. With Bitcoin, follow that data. That
Strong
data
as
is solid, strong as hell.
strong as hell.
You if you look at the ETFs, don't look at it daily because you can see like maybe like 2 or 3 days selling in a row. Look at it like weekly, and every single week, inflows, just money flowing in, money flowing in. You had MicroStrategy just announced this morning they bought another $750 million worth of Bitcoin. They've spent their Bitcoin's at $32 billion. They're buying all the time.
Monster.
MicroStrategy. You're also starting to have some companies start to copy MicroStrategy. You've had them start to do it at the Bitcoin conference.
Matt says it's
not micro anymore. Oh yeah, it's just
Time to upgrade to just strategy.
Yeah,
macro strategy.
No, they changed their name.
I did see that.
Oh yeah,
Wait, really?
They changed the name. Yeah, they changed the name to Strategy with a Bitcoin logo at the end, and with the goal of turning it into a Bitcoin reserve bank, essentially.
Here you go.
I like that. Honestly, that's bullish. Sorry.
Yeah, and then you've had a couple more companies start to copy them and start to put like tens of millions of dollars into Bitcoin, and that will continue. You have that as well, and yeah, I would say pay attention to those inflows. You have a crazy amount of money coming in, and then if you can go and take a look, you can do it at like Dune Analytics. But honestly, I find a hard time getting this data outside of it being reported every now and again on Twitter. But it's the amount of available supply for Bitcoin on exchanges. And that number is just, it's had a little bit of a dip, a pop upwards, but it's just going down. Available supply, inflows remaining steady, the amount of buyers increasing. And then also go and follow Dennis Porter on Twitter, X. And he's been on the show. He's the world's largest Bitcoin lobbyist. And if you want information about strategic Bitcoin reserves, he's the #1 source for it. Right now, if you look at a map of the United States, of the amount of states that are introducing legislation, having a final vote on it or whatever, we're at like 20 states right now. And then we have, the United States creating the digital asset stockpile, or at least not creating it officially, but, starting to take a look at it. And so you just go, okay, ETFs, continuous inflows, available supply going down, all these states here, MicroStrategy is doing so much with it. Michael Dell's posting Bitcoin memes. You have all these other countries, but you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like I see more buyers coming in. Of those buyers, I see more even bigger buyers coming in, and available supply is going down. I don't need to listen to that influencer or this influencer or whoever to think that the price of Bitcoin is going up. Just follow the numbers. And then again, if you're investing into something, you're hopefully investing before a big wave of money comes in, because that's how your investments go up, right? Do you see a big wave of money coming in? The answer to that is unequivocally yes. Henceforth, therefore, round table. Bitcoin strong. Bitcoin good.
Strong.
Bitcoin friend.
Okay, what about
maybe shit?
altcoin?
Maybe shit.
Maybe shit.
Maybe shit.
Well, maybe shit, because like I mentioned before, the ETFs make it hard for Bitcoin liquidity to flow into the altcoins. Even when the Ethereum ETF gets staking turned on, the Ethereum ETF inflows go up like crazy, you're still going to have a bit of a problem where it's going to be harder for that money to flow into the other altcoins. Now, the thing with Ethereum is that a ton of people are far more willing to swap their Ethereum around for stuff and use it on chain, because there's just like way more avenues to use it than with Bitcoin, outside of being a store of value. So it will create more of a flow into other altcoins and create a more positive altcoin environment, but it's not going to be as good as it was in the past still. Yeah. So everybody, I just want to end on this point. Yeah, I want to end on this one point here where
I want to explore the point.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
We'll let it.
Okay, cool. Because I'm exploring into this a little bit more. There have been so many times where we look at a coin and we're trying. I've done this a bunch of times. I don't think we can. Where you're like, cool. Let's see. What am I trying? Radium. Let's pick Radium, and you go Radium, which is a decentralized exchange on Solana. You go, cool. Okay, how high can the price of Radium get? Well, last bull cycle, Uniswap, the largest decentralized exchange in the world, and on Ethereum, got up to this market cap, right? So if Radium goes up to that same market cap, it'll be worth X amount of money, or it'll be Uniswap did this many percentage returns. So Radium will do that also. You can't do that in this cycle. I don't think that's a good mathematical formula to target, because the ETFs are going to make sure that not as high of a percentage of the amount of money entering the crypto market is able to flow freely. Maybe the money that's flowing into the crypto market before you had the ETFs, 100% of it could move around and was liquid. But now it's going to be something like 40 or 30%. It's going to be something pretty small. Yeah, right. Like 40 or 30%, right? So I would expect moving forward to really have lower returns in altcoins, which we knew anyway. The market caps were getting bigger anyway, and that's just how math works. As a market increases, you get lower percentage returns, but you're going to see less 100x's, you're going to see less 50x's, you're going to see less 10x's to even a higher degree than you would have naturally, with the market caps having naturally gotten bigger.
Okay, so Alex, take it.
No, I think Will's right. I mean, the money flow is disrupted with the ETFs. We knew that. So, and what it's proven is that it was actually all about money flow and not about psychology. It was not about like, hey, the big alts or Bitcoin has pumped, it's now time for ETH. ETH has pumped, it's time for other alts. It prompting people who were not invested in the first to just simply invest in the second and make that go up. We can see now that that's not really the case. It was all just about big money flow. And if big money flow is getting damned by ETFs, then yeah, it's jacked up, for lack of a better phrase. So what I think though that you might see, which is what I keep saying, I feel like we're watching with Solana first, which is really interesting because it would not have picked something not ETH to be the first altcoin to like theoretically decouple. And I'm not saying we're there yet. I'm just saying like there's like indications of it, right? Whole market is taking a little tariff announcement, wick down last night, and Solana's like, no, bitch, we got gambling to do. We're up. And, if Bitcoin is already on the brink of doing something, itself, because of ETFs, because of the bullish sentiment around states perhaps starting to acquire some, or governments starting to buy more, or MicroStrategy doing whatever, or strategy, sorry. That one decoupling just makes more sense. There's not a lot of reasons for Bitcoin to go down right now, which is interesting. Whereas the rest of crypto, this is like, who knows? Most of it's nonsense. So of course it tracks that, it could be struggling, but I don't know. I just feel like if we do see an altcoin season, the farther and farther into this kind of a sentiment that we get, the more I'm like, maybe like a dozen of them sort of just like go up healthily, but not some like 20, 30x kind of a thing. And a lot of things that are underwater, we're probably going to stay underwater for a long ass time.
Yeah, I saw a comment by Keith where it was like Bitcoin and Solana. That's all I'm really looking at. Really just looking at Solana to go up. And I'm like, it's gonna be one of the winners, one of those 12. I'm just like, yeah, that might be the better strategy sometimes. But like, we'll see a big pump up in a lot of the altcoins that showed in this past movement that they were willing to go up. At least had price momentum. I think a lot of those will pick up, and then you have a few other new ones kind of show up here and there. But That's going to be about it. It's going to be a smaller bucket, it seems like.
I think so too. And I am finding myself adjusting the strategy for this cycle for me has really been more about building conviction, smaller portfolio, fewer picks. I'm much less diversified than I have been. I don't think I'm under diversified. I think I'm appropriately diversified. I think a lot of crypto companies are still overvalued. I think, like you said, Will, there's more capital that's locked up or less liquid. And crypto literacy really hasn't improved. Those ETF buyers, I don't expect them to be doing DeFi. I do think there will be a lot of retail investors who are onboarded by things like Trump token, World Liberty Finance, et cetera, and that their money will flow to places that they are offered the option to move it. I think it's very realistic to assume that people who get onboarded through World Liberty Finance are going to have a very easy time buying ETH or Aave or other things that Donald Trump can earn a fee on selling them. But I just don't think that the amount of capital coming to the space to anything except Bitcoin is really changing in a way that makes me super excited for some kind of every alt is going to blow up. And, you know, even though people remember it that way, it was never that way. Like, yeah, there was lots of stuff that pumped and just went crazy for absolutely no reason. But even last cycle, there were thousands of tokens. Most of them did nothing. It was just the ones you heard about that did so well that it seemed crazy. I've been kind of adjusting my targets lower, generally speaking, and hedging my bets. I've been taking profits along the way, but I said to Alex a while ago, I do think I'm still excited and bullish about what will come in the future. But if I had my druthers, I probably would have been out in November or December. You know, I was in profit then, but even though I'm still bullish, it would have been nice to have been out and not thinking about it. You know, I wouldn't have been sad.
Well, it's always nice being it's good to be retrospective to try to learn lessons. Like the last arrow buys I made, they're so far down right now, and I'm just like, I haven't even looked at the arrow chart, so I'll look at it again when things are green in a big run. I know it's down bad. My Morpho is still in profit after a couple trades, but you know, it's just like, you know, look back. You made mistakes, learn from them, watch the tape, if you will. Your sports analogy. Watch the tape, see what you did wrong, make sure you don't do that in the future. And typically what everybody did wrong is we didn't take as we sold profits and then just took stuff and just took it out of the market. I said, cool, we're not gonna touch that. That's done. That's secured profit. You know, got to do that more often.
Alex, what was your what?
Just take some goddamn profits.
Just take some profits.
And then don't redeploy it all in the market.
Mario, you asked.
That's true. You don't have to immediately rebuy something sketchier with all of your winnings.
Yes.
No, that's
Mario. That's how you lose at the casino.
Mario said thoughts on alt season, and if you missed our thoughts on alt season, that's kind of it right there. And the good news is, the good news is that if you missed it, if you're just tuning in, these shows live forever on all the other channels, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. You can search for The Rise Up Morning Show, or you can just go to theriseupmorningshow.com. Not only can you find all the links to all our official social media pages, but you can find many more educational resources there, like the free Rise Up Discord server, like our premium memberships, like the courses, the coaching, the PDF guides. All that's missing, my friend, is you. And speaking of official links, these are our only profiles. Wherever you're watching this show live right now or on the recording in the future, hello in the future. Hope things are green there. That's it. We're never going to reach out to you directly. We're not going to offer you investment advice, check on how your investments are doing. If you come into our Discord and someone who looks like me or Will or Alex sends you a message just to check on our community members, it's not us. It's never us. It's always somebody who is trying to separate you from your money by leveraging the trust we have built together. They cannot hurt you if you do not engage with them. So block them, turn your DMs off. The best way to get in touch with us is through all the official channels that you can find at theriseupmorningshow.com. And I feel like that might be a good segue, Alex, to tell us about what happened over the weekend.
Yeah. And before I tell that story, just it is an important one. There's a question just about taking profits. We haven't said it this show, so I'll say it briefly.
Let's do it. Yeah.
You know, at what percentage? There's no percentage. There is no magic percentage at which you need to take profits. Because what happens when it doesn't hit that exact percentage? Now all of a sudden you start questioning whether or not you should take any profits, and that's not the way to go. No percentage. Okay, so get that. Let's get that out of our heads once and for all. There is no magic number at which you need to take profit. Okay, I don't care if you say 30% and it gets to 28% up, and you're like, nah, screw that, and then it craters again. You probably should have, right? So I would encourage you to instead of just looking at, the raw percentage and trying to decide whether it's good enough for you to deserve to pay yourself. If you're looking at it, questioning whether or not you should take some profits, you should probably take some profits. If it is up so much that you would be pissed if it went down and you didn't take some, you should sell some. If you feel like you want to take a screenshot of it and show somebody how much you're winning, you should definitely sell some.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen, if you sell some of your position and recognize some profits when you are up and in the green, the worst thing that could happen is it continues to go up. But that's why you don't sell 100% of the position. You sell some of the position. You keep some exposure to the things you have faith in. You secure some. Because what happens when it goes down and then everyone on Twitter is bitching and moaning about how they don't have any stable coins to buy anything with? You do, because you took some goddamn profit and you paid yourself, and now you have some stable coins and you can do something with those if you want to.
I will also say I feel like a lot of people, just based on what Will you said a minute ago about price targets being a little unrealistic, maybe not everything's going to just go to the moon. I feel like a lot of people, generally speaking, buy a bit late, especially if you're new. For example, if a token started out at $1 and you might have bought it at $1.50, and the market cap hit an all-time high at $2 or something like that, and you're expecting it to go to $3 before you consider taking profits. You're looking for that 2x before you even start thinking about selling. Well, maybe it might not be a bad idea if it's been a long time and you're feeling uncertain to sell when it hits 30%. Where else in the world, my friend, are you going to get a 30% return on your investment in a couple of weeks or a couple of months? That might be a good time to take a little money off the table. And if it dips, wow, now you got some money that you can buy the dip with, pay your taxes with, buy some ice cream with. And if it goes back up, you can do that again. You don't have to be tied to it. You don't have to feel emotional about it. You don't have to wait longer than you feel you ought to. It's always a good time to de-risk, to take profits, to reevaluate, to do those kind of things.
Yeah. Something else that happened over the weekend. Oh, wait, no. Alex, was there another thing we were about to hop to?
We're going to talk about scams, but we can go to this first. And actually, I'm so sorry. I did forget one thing I wanted to say, because somebody asked a clarifying question about realized and unrealized gains. Just if you are using a wallet or an exchange, you might notice that your tokens say today's returns, and it's a particular percent up or down. That is based on how that crypto token's price has moved on the market in the last 24 hours. What are people buying or selling it at? That number is different from your unrealized returns, which is the amount it has moved up or down since you bought it over time. If it moved up or down 10% in the last 24 hours, that has little to do with how much you personally are in profit or loss based on how long you've held it. Unrealized gains means you haven't sold this. If you sell it right now, this is how much money you will make or lose. If it's a red number like minus 10%, if you sell it right now, you will realize a loss of 10%. And if it says, plus 10%, it's a green number, then if you sell it right now, you will realize 10% profit on your position. Realized means profits you've taken or losses you've taken off the table by selling crypto. And unrealized means if you sell your crypto in this moment, this is what will happen. Good question. Sorry. Go ahead, Will. Take us somewhere else, and we can close the show with a little scam talk.
Yeah, I think that's good. So the FOMC, for those of you who don't know, that is the Fed, right?
Is that the same one that won't let Eminem be? Over your head? Is that the only pop culture reference that I got and nobody else got?
You referenced the wrong agency, so that wasn't.
I know, it was a joke because it's the FCC.
It was a joke.
All right. I'll give you that one.
All right, let him.
Sorry, Will. Sorry, Will.
I
thought it was going to land.
All right, no, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. But so the FOMC, which is the Fed, which is the central bank of the United States, it's what controls monetary policy in the U.S. Right? You may have heard someone by the name of Jerome Powell or Papa Powell. He is the head of it. Okay. So for those of you who aren't aware,
For the
head.
record,
now
no one on Earth except for Will calls him Papa Powell.
Yeah.
I probably think of Papa Powell once every 2 days, which checks out. Also, oh no, wait, this is really funny. Where I had people over for the Super Bowl last night, and one of my best friends is
And
Turkish.
you were telling all your friends about Papa Powell?
About Papa Powell. No, but there's the Papa thing, and Alp, and his name is Alp, and his girlfriend Alif are sitting on the couch next to him, and they showed Trump on the screen, but obviously like they are immigrants now. Both of them are American citizens. But you know, with deportation going on, he's always been joking about like ICE is coming for him, and he sees Trump on the stream, and all of a sudden all we hear is it's Papa Trump. and now all I can think of when I hear or see Trump is just my friend's incredibly thick Turkish accent saying Papa Trump, and now it's just truly a source of joy.
It's going on the soundboard.
Yeah, Papa Trump. Anyway. What I was trying to say is the FOMC, they released basically their year's summary report on the economy, monetary policy, inflation, and just like their overall thoughts on the year, as well as their general thoughts moving forward into 2025. We care about this in the crypto market because monetary policy affects all assets. If monetary policy is hawkish or bearish, the financial term for that would be quantitative tightening, or is bullish or dovish. The financial term for that is quantitative easing. Whatever scenario goes into, quantitative easing makes money go up, which like the amount of money go up, which means there's more money to invest in things. There's more of a risk on environment. Quantitative tightening, which he's been in for 2.5 years or so now, means that the total money supply decreases, makes it harder for risk on assets to go up in value, right? Okay. So, I read this report because I was on Twitter and everyone was like, oh my God, the Fed says they're going to pursue quantitative easing. They were actually going to go into the market and start buying assets and adding it to their balance sheet, which is something they can do and typically do more often than not, in June. And I was like, that's an oddly specific thing for them to just go ahead and say at the beginning of the year. I was like, okay. And I felt the temptation as a content creator to be like, I also have to be fast on this. And I was like, wait. I'm going to read this thing. So I read it. It's 86 pages long.
Wait a second. I'm going to read it.
Wait
before
a
I yap
second.
about
What
it.
a concept.
What a novel concept.
Wow. It's 86 pages long. So I was like, damn, just going ahead. I probably would get better engagement if I just went ahead and just said, it's a June. So I read it. It's not. There's no mentioning of them doing quantitative easing at all in any of the 86 pages. Now, I do think it's generally positive, though. Which is really cool moving forward. In relation to quantitative easing, though, the exact quote was more marked deceleration within the range of value. Oh, yeah, did I not write this down? Oh, yeah,
the exact quote was,
we will stop reducing our balance sheet when reserve balances are near the level that the FOMC judges to be consistent with ample reserves. That is a sentence that doesn't mean a whole lot.
No.
It basically means...
That's a lot of words that say nothing.
Yeah, it basically means we'll stop reducing the balance sheet when we think it's time. And then people took that and ran on crypto Twitter and said, June, quantitative easing, it's happening. Markets are going to front run this. And I was just like, what, guys? It doesn't say that at all in the slightest.
For a quick jargonless explanation of what Will just said, in case you're not familiar with all of these terms. Quantitative, quantity, how much? Tightening, restricting. Quantitative tightening, reducing the quantity of money in circulation. Quantitative easing, putting more money into circulation. When there's less money in circulation, people buy less things, including investments. When there's more money in circulation, people buy more things, including investments. And that's it.
Yep. And there were some positive things in the report, though, that I feel like people should have been talking about instead of spreading that fake news. Basically, the Fed shared their thoughts on how inflation was throughout the year, because at the end of the year, it started being a little sticky, and the general sentiment was like, shit, inflation's bad. But the FOMC came out and said, like, hey, inflation cooled a lot and then moderated a bit. Employment strengthened after the cooling. And overall, we marked a major deceleration of inflation, particularly if you remove some of the most volatile sections of PCE. That's their favorite measurement of inflation. And they also stated, this is an exact quote, longer-term inflation expectations are within the range of values consistent with the FOMC's longer-term objectives of 2%. It's the first time the FOMC has come out and said, hey, our long-term projections of inflation are that they're going to hit our 2% target. The Fed, the FOMC, wants inflation to be at 2%. That's their prime number. Right now it's at 2.9, 2.8. And they're saying for the first time, it is on track to hit that 2% target. I think that's an incredibly bullish statement, because if you take that and combine it with their other statements, which were the Fed can do two things. They can ink to affect monetary policy. They can raise and lower inflation rates, so make it more expensive, or not inflation rates, interest rates. So if they raise interest rates or lower them, you either make it more expensive to borrow money or less expensive to borrow money. If it's less expensive to borrow money, more people borrow money into the system. It's all, it's good. But they want to raise rates to fight inflation. This year, they lowered rates by a whole percentage point this past year because they thought it was time and inflation started to cool. The other thing that they can do is the Fed can go out and just buy assets. They can go out and just buy things from the market with huge, gigantic fistfuls of money. And that also boosts the market. They can also then sell those assets to then push down the market. And this is all in order to fight inflation. So what the Fed has been doing over the past 2.5 years in this quantitative tightening is they have been raising interest rates, and they haven't been selling assets on their balance sheet, but they've let these assets, these bonds, come to maturity and just not renew them, just not buy them back. So their balance sheet has been reducing, and they've been applying sell side pressure onto the market by doing that. They, over the last 6 months of last year, were talking about how they have dramatically decelerated that. They only sold something like $64 million or $120 million over the last 6 months of last year. To put that into context, over the past 2.5 years, they have let sell off $2 trillion from their balance sheet. So basically, the Fed is now at a point where they're like, hey, we're going to stop allowing our balance sheet to be reduced pretty soon, because we've seen it start to even out already, right? They're pretty happy with where their balance sheet is right now, because you can follow the numbers. You don't have to listen to some bullshit random statement from them. Follow the numbers. You see that they are now holding their balance sheet steady for the most part, and that we are very close to quantitative easing, where they've said, hey, inflation's actually pretty damn near close to our goal. Close to the Fed could be a year still. Let's actually start continuing to open up the door for interest rates to be cut and for the balance sheet to start going up again, right? That to me is what the Fed just screamed to the world, and not a single person was talking about it except for some wildly bullish thing that they did not absolutely say. So all in all, quick summary on that.
You're the only one that read it.
I think I am the only. I think I am the only one who read it. I think I should make a video on this. I gotta.
I really think
I'm
you
the
should.
only one who read it.
You should.
Yeah, and it's basically the Fed went to the whole world and said, "Hey guys, we're getting ready to pivot in a big way, and we'll let you guys know when we're gonna do that. But like, we're getting kind of close.
The numbers are on track."
Yeah.
I was gonna say, to Will's credit too, you know who else read it? The fucking hedge funds. They read it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They certainly
Which
did.
is, there was a comment earlier about how hedge funds are constantly rebalancing. They are. You know why? Because they read things.
They do. Oh, speaking of hedge funds, they have put in a record amount of shorts, more shorts against Ethereum than they've ever had, which I think
Ethereum to
is actually,
1700.
Right, I think is incredibly bullish.
Yep, I was gonna say, what does that mean? It means you might get a wick down. It also means that because we are angry at the world, maybe we'll short squeeze them. That's happened a ton of times.
Well, the other thing too is the hedge funds are the world's greatest market manipulators. And they also, if they're going to buy a crypto asset, do it through the Ethereum ETFs. And they've been buying at these levels. Over the past 7 days, the Ethereum ETF have had 1 day of zero and 6 days in a row of buying. So the ETFs have bought. They opened these gigantic short positions. Maybe they're expecting the markets.
Can you say all this in English for the people who are watching for the very first time and trust me to help
yes.
explain
So
it? Because I already know they're like, the
fuck is going on right now? Yeah. So hedge funds, They are organizations that manage a bunch of money. They are opening up short positions. This means that they are betting that the market's going to go down.
Okay.
Their favorite way to buy like actual crypto are through ETF products. ETF products are basically historically baskets of assets, but in the crypto space and for gold and commodities, it's just the ability for these hedge funds to easily go and get price exposure to, actual Ethereum in this case. Oh, a little puppy. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And
what is the
so-
short squeeze?
And so what a short squeeze is you have gigantic bets against the market, right? But if the price goes up, those positions get liquidated. And then it forces people to then buy the asset. So as shorts get liquidated, and the price is going up, as shorts get liquidated, you get a dramatic increase in price because these short positions are forced to buy that asset, right? And so it causes like throwing gasoline on a fire, and that goes in either direction. If you liquidate longs, which are bets that the market's going to go up, causes the market to go down incredibly quickly, and vice versa. So that's the scenario you have yourselves now. So retail could come in, or other financial institutions could come in and try to liquidate the hedge funds, or what's more likely than not the case, maybe the hedge funds are thinking the markets are going to go down today because the stock market hasn't had a chance to react to the news of tariffs, which are bad for markets. And so maybe they're expecting, hey, Ethereum might go down a little bit. And then what they can do is they can quickly remove their short positions. And then everyone who saw that there's a historic amount of shorts by the hedge funds and then went to go copy them aren't going to be nearly as fast as them. And then the hedge funds just turn around and then just buy through the Ethereum ETF product. That then causes the price of Ethereum to go up, and it liquidates all the other copycat shorts. And then they're in a ton of profit. And the hedge funds are the single greatest market manipulators on the planet.
If you're still lost and you want a famous and probably there's so much literature on this from recent history, I would just Google Robinhood short squeeze. This happened very famously a few years ago when it was noticed that there were a lot of short positions from hedge funds who believed Robinhood was going to zero and were doing everything they could to push it in that direction, then betting on it to capitalize. When retail investors noticed this, a huge movement sprang up to drive the price of Robinhood higher in order to liquidate their positions and shoot it up and make the little guys rich at the expense of the very big people.
And of course, the concept of a short squeeze is quite literally what
GameStop. Did I say
ignited,
Robinhood?
Yeah, you meant.
You said GameStop, but if you looked it up, you would find it. I didn't say anything to correct you because I was like, you'll find it if you do.
Guys,
GameStop
come on, where am I today?
Via Robinhood, famous short squeeze.
Oh golly, this is a fake radio show anyway. Okay, are we in a good place
Fake
for
radio show.
Alex? I know you've got to start doing final thoughts in a little bit, and I know your mom usually leaves early. So, and that's not a burn, by the way. Love you,
Sounded
Linda.
like one.
Your mom
Sounded
usually
like one.
leaves early, but maybe
Mom leaves early.
this is a good time to segue to this is a really important topic for everybody
is.
on our show,
Yeah.
because whoever you are, however smart you are, however long you've been here, you could be the best trader in our audience, and you might find yourself susceptible to being manipulated by a scammer. So what happened this weekend, and what do we need to know?
I'm gonna rug you really quick just to say that was a that fake radio show. That's just a reference to our favorite burn, our favorite diss that we've ever gotten.
It's so good.
Someone left us a comment that just basically said something to the effect of, "What the hell is this fake radio show?"
Yeah, and we were just dying. We were losing it. We were like, "That's so good."
That's the best
This is
burn
a
I've ever
gross
gotten.
misrepresentation of the facts.
But no, also, Will, I was just going to point out, because I don't know if you looked, but pre-market trading is all green across the board, stock market wise. It's kind of interesting. Well, I guess except for no, I lied. It's all
Ooh,
green. which is
fascinating.
interesting. Okay,
Well,
so yeah,
love to see it. Maybe some people read the FOMC annual
No.
report.
No,
No.
it couldn't be that. We
Uh-oh.
don't read.
I
don't read.
Well, actually, I can't read. I just have Violet, my girlfriend, read out
It's
loud
the
for me.
Famous don't come for me. Simpsons quote when Arnold Schwarzenegger is president: "I was elected to lead, not to read."
Not to read. That's right.
My God,
A timeless classic. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, my mother called me yesterday and told me a story that she asked that I share online. And actually, I did a little bit of digging, and there's a couple more things we can toss into this too. So over the weekend, she received a phone call, and as these things often are, it was just perfectly timed with 35,000 other things going on, and was just convincing enough to trick her into falling for a Medicare scam. And the point here is just that, you know, these things can happen to anybody. And the one thing that she said was kind of like the push over the top here was that they had quite a few pieces of information about her.
Yeah, can you give us more detail about like the narrative, like what happened?
It was basically just like calling to confirm coverage and confirming account number and confirming card number or something.
Was it like a 1-800 number? Do you know, or was it just a random phone number?
Mother, I don't know. That one.
Take your time, Linda. Let us know. Sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
But no. On that note, though, Evan, the big scam that I kind of found out this morning and yesterday while I was reading and looking up just videos about more and more people falling for these things is that numbers are being spoofed. And people are receiving phone calls from numbers that appear to be legitimate. If you were to Google the number that you are on the phone with, it might return something legit. And the FBI is currently warning that if you have any suspicion, one, none of these people are ever actually going to call you. That's the really big takeaway. None of these people are actually ever going to call you. My mom says it was a random number with her area code.
Got it.
None of these people are ever going to call you. If you receive a call like that, just hang up and then call the actual number back. Disconnect the one that called you and then call back. Christina's uncle or cousin received a phone call from his daughter, which was his daughter's voice generated by an AI asking for money. And that was originally the story. It was like everyone else was trying to call her at the same time that she was on the phone with him and no one could get through to her, which is weird if she's standing there on the phone. So that was the big takeaway. You know, if they call you, they're not going to call you. And essentially what, you know, this luckily, the scam that my mom got caught here with was probably not going to be able to do a tremendous amount of damage because the coverage that they were going after is like really specific. But probably what the goal was to mass collect people's Medicare numbers and then file false claims to try to get medication or get some sort of repayment or something like that. And it's a numbers game. You know, they probably called 400,000 people. And, you know, my mom's coverage is specific to hospitalizations. So probably no one is going to go check themselves into a hospital and physically try to copy that. So, you know, lucky, but still it can happen. And so really the big takeaways here are none of these people, the IRS, the police department, the FBI, you know, they're never going to call you on the phone like that. You're never going to receive notice like that. And the FBI now is specifically issuing statements about this and how this is never how it's going to be. You know, you should be suspicious of all of these phone calls. I saw a TikTok video about this woman who received one with the phone number that was spoofed from her local police department. And it was just they had so much information. For the record, your information has been leaked many times. It's been leaked and sold. You can go buy it on the dark web. Anyone who wants it can get it. So don't be surprised when someone knows your address, your email address, your social security number, your phone number, you know, any of that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think, you know, the point is that these things can happen to anybody. As my mom was like, you know, stress the fact that I am not stupid and I still did a stupid thing and fell for this thing. My mom has a PhD and at least one master's degree that I'm aware of.
Fact check yourself, brother.
Another degree. And, you know, these things can still happen. So if you receive an email, a direct message, a phone call, a fucking smoke signal, a carrier pigeon that is claiming to be someone who has something on you.
I am listening to the carrier pigeon. The amount of effort they went in to send me that I'm reading it at the very least.
All right, scammers, take note. If you send Will a request for his information via pigeon, he will fall for it.
However, I will know it's the scam because my balcony is flooded with doves. And if there's one pigeon, I think those doves might take it out. It'll be like my firewall. I had 7 doves on my balcony this morning, which is cool and cute, but at the same time, so much bird poop.
Yeah, unless somebody is actively trying to get doves into your house to scam you, that could be it.
I think that's what's happening.
I think that's what's
as
happening.
a as
This
a,
is
as
a
a
gross
leading expert.
misrepresentation of the facts.
Thank you, Alex. Good point. As a leading expert on bird poop, Will, I am sorry for you. That was a very shitty part of my career.
Oh
Literally just cleaning
my
bird shit off of
God.
lighthouses. You got to give me a ding for that. That was a good one.
I had to give you the rim shot first, but that was pretty good. And another, so Alex has got the tip for you, which is just hang up, call them back at their official numbers. And we had this a couple of times. Tori had this in the comments, and I want everyone to know this. I need to do this with everyone in my family. I have not done it with everybody yet, but you should get a safe word. A safe word so that when you get a call from your daughter or from your grandma or from somebody who sounds like me asking, would you like to invest some money in our community, whatever, that you can ask for the safe, give me the safe word and I'll do it. And this is a word you never write down. You don't store anywhere online, that you just agree on with your family in a conversation, face to face or over a phone call that isn't recorded.
Just question everything. There are so many scam attempts out there. People don't even really think about it because we sort of become numb to it, but you are barraged with an onslaught of scam attempts every single day. If you're on TikTok or any social media right now trying to learn about money, I guarantee you're going to have 35 scam attempts by the end of the day. Every fake impersonator comment that comes back at you with a video link or a Telegram link or a WhatsApp number or a message me for more details or sliding into your DMs and ask you. Every single one of those is an attempt to scam you. Yeah. I get them all the time being a public figure. People take my public email address off of my profile. They send me some weird ass shit about how they know all the things I'm into and they're going to leak everything to destroy me and whatever. I get those all the time. I get PDFs of like people saying that they're going to be in my webcam and that they're going to post the videos. And I'm like, I'm going to post a bunch of videos of, I don't know, me picking my nose or something. And put them on the internet, but like
wrangling a dog.
Yes, who knows? But it can be unsettling, especially with how much of your information is available for nefarious people to get. It doesn't take much to rattle you, and that's I mean, what's the figure? I look it up every year when I make the video that is like, hey, crypto is not really the crime problem; it's regular crime.
Oh,
that's the crime problem. Like how many billions of dollars,
scores of magnitude more
people. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, and there was a great question here that was just like, do you think we'll be able to overcome this wave of AI-based scams? Because they're going to get worse, 100%. Especially people like us, because of how many hours and hours and hours of great high-quality imagery and video of our moving faces is available on the internet for download and screen capture with our voice. All sorts of financial words and terms and like all sorts of stuff is available. My
dolphin noises. They're all there. That's the stuff that people want.
It's all there.
Jay Heat says they make me feel wanted. So there's a place for them,
Question that's the wrap up here, the bow on top. Question everything. Assume everything is a scam until you know for sure otherwise. I'm really sorry. I hate to be that guy, but blockchain could offer a solution to this.
Blockchain could fix this.
Tokenizing things for proof of humanity is a possible remedy or a possible at least chink in the armor that is this just behemoth that is trying to constantly steal all of your money from you.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's a chance.
And I want to actually put a bow on top of your bow to give people 3 resources. A lot of crypto crimes specifically are difficult to it's hard for victims to get compensation and justice because even though everything is trackable on the blockchain is immutable. So if somebody has taken money or information from you and then moved it somewhere else, you might be out of luck, Chuck. That money, that information, it's probably, turned into cash and they're in Mexico somewhere and they're onto a new thing. And even still, you should report this to, if you're in the United States, the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center. The URL is IC3, like IC3.gov. The Federal Trade Commission, which is FTC.gov, and ask them to let M&M be. I know it's not the same one. And also, your
Evan's really
local-
trying to come all the way back to that joke.
Really trying.
for half an hour.
Beating that joke into the ground. And your local authorities, because this establishes some kind of record that, one, if they are able to track these scammers down, can help you get your stuff back. And two, it helps our local authorities become more aware that this is an issue. And then when we go to Washington and DC and talk to the regulators about it, there is a wealth of information backing up this thing we tell them is a serious problem. It's you doing your part to make sure that somebody else who's vulnerable doesn't get scammed in the future. And I want to say, if you have been scammed, it can feel very isolating and it can feel very shameful. But, you know, Linda's the best trader in our audience, the most adept crypto user, and probably one of the better moms out there. So if it can happen to her, it can happen to you. And we just want you to find support for that. You know, a lot of people lose more money than they can afford to, but your story doesn't have to end there. Jump in the Rise Up Discord server, find a group of people who understand what you've been through, who are not going to make you feel stupid about it, and where you can share what you learned to make something good come out of it as you work to make yourself whole. That's my vote for it. Oh, and also, just because I saw some bells in the chat, sorry.
Hurts every
Sorry,
time.
Alex, I'm so sorry.
Anyway.
So I have. Are we at
Take
final
it.
thoughts?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
My
it's about
final
that
thought
time.
Is another. It's another quick little market update out of Japan.
Out of Japan.
Out of
Oh
Japan.
man.
So Japan is Japan's FSA, which I imagine is their
So ready with that going.
so ready with that. It's basically their SEC, I believe, is looking to push forward plans to their 2026 National People's Congress. So it's not going to be for a while. So we got to wait for this another year. But it's a really good thing. So it's Japan's Financial Services Agency is pushing forward plans for Japan to reduce taxes on crypto assets down from 55% to 20%, as well as lifting the ban on Bitcoin ETF products in Japanese markets.
Okay.
That is cool. Also,
That's cool.
you guys may have heard of this company called Meta Planet. You may have seen it on crypto Twitter mentioned. They're a Japanese company, and they're basically Japan's version of MicroStrategy, now just strategy. They have bought 1,700 Bitcoin over the past few months, and they announced plans to increase these holdings to more than 10,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026.
That's a lot of Bitcoin.
And that's just one company. So some really good news for Bitcoin coming out of Japan.
Very cool. If you've got a final thought, a question, a suggestion, a good joke, a word of wisdom, then the best place to leave it is in the comments. And the second best place to leave it is the place the show lives 24/7, the Rise Up Discord server. Don't forget, you can join that Discord server and hang out with our global community of learners at all levels of experience totally for free. And you can find even more excellent educational resources at theriseupmorningshow.com. We're here Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. But that's where the show lives 24/7. And we have got classes you can take, including Will's excellent technical analysis class. We've got the how to spot the most common scams and schemes in crypto, intro to DeFi, so you can start using your crypto to earn passive yield. And if you're just crypto curious, we have resources for you too to start learning to use crypto safely, confidently. And I do want to alert you that the riseupmorningshow.com is also the best place to find our premium memberships. If you want to accelerate your journey, save some time and money, you can get discounts on everything, deeper access to us, and we will help you. But the price of membership is going up soon. So before it does, on February 21st, you should sign up for a free trial, 7 days free, get all the fun and the value out of it. And then if you want to cancel, no problem. But if you want to keep going, you lock in the lower rate. And it is a significant savings. So get that, get in touch. Hang out with the community at theriseupmorningshow.com and the Rise Up Discord server. We would love to see you there. Everybody has a final thought, but Alex, since I know you got to go, I am going to give it to you first, my friend. What do you got for us as we head out the door?
I was going to share a piece of exciting news with everyone hanging out with us here that we at the show received a sponsor, and I'm pretty excited about it. So you're going to see a video from each of us coming up soon. I don't have all the details, but I'm pretty stoked. Will is the source of this one, has been doing
Will's
some
the
good
closer.
work. behind
I'm
the
the
scenes.
closer.
He's the guy you bring in to
source.
clean them up.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this one because it's actually interesting. So I'm excited to talk about it. It's Movement Labs, and it's kind of this. I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly how we're gonna do all the videos, but I kind of just wanted to preface the week saying you're gonna see the videos from us. They will of course be disclosed because not disclosing is a fucking crime. So
What?
we're not. I know.
Guys, I was going to talk to you guys later about how we need to start doing just a little bit of crime. We'll make more money.
I know. Just a little bit of crime.
Just a little bit of crime.
So I am very excited, but just know that Movement is currently sponsoring creators and getting the word out there and doing some marketing and stuff. So if you see other videos suddenly about Movement, they are probably sponsored. And if someone's not disclosing, that's bad, and you
It's
shouldn't
illegal.
be doing that. Yeah. So obviously we'll be disclosing, but I'm super excited because it's really nice to finally get paid for something. That's pretty dope. So that's my final thought. Very excited, and honestly, the reason that we get to work with groups like that and get sponsored by stuff like this and get to make videos and get paid for it is because you guys hang out with us every day. And that's really cool because there's like a million other things you could be doing on the internet, but instead you choose to sit here and listen to us do our fake radio show, and that really means a lot to me.
And that's just bullshit.
I'm just kidding. I just had to rub you a little bit.
Damn it, Alex, not now.
That was beautiful.
Anyway.
Will, what about you? You got a final thought, question, suggestion, good joke, word of wisdom?
Your favorite social media content creators, including us three, are even influenced because we have two jobs, right? Our two jobs here are providing education about crypto, making sure that like we're taking care of new people and people who've been here for a space, but maybe making a lot of mistakes, or you want to find ways to learn more, and at the same time being a content creator. And sometimes those two things are butting heads, right? And myself, Evan, and Alex, we always allow the side that wants, or I was looking at the side that wants you guys to be better off to win, right? But that influence, even for us, I would consider us to be on the far better end of that of crypto content creators. There's still that influence there at times where it's like I mentioned earlier in the show, I see a headline and I'm like, as a content creator, I'm like, oh, I gotta get in now. Like I gotta get in now while it's hot. Like the views are gonna be better, the engagement's gonna be better. I gotta get in on this now. And then I took a step back and I was like, actually, let me read this. I put a quick post that said, people are saying this on Twitter. I am actually gonna read this though, and I'll let you guys know. So there's that, but there's still that influence, right?
Yep.
I bring this up because some people let that the side of I'm going to be a content creator first and I'm just using crypto they let that side win more often than not. And that's when you see people running around with salacious headlines. And I've done it before in the past also myself, because like I got caught up in it and I didn't read the thing and I was like, God damn it, lesson learned, gotta read the thing, right? But I say all this because you see people scream the most dramatic headline possible to get you to click because they want that content creation side of their business or brand, if you will, to be satiated. But you, as a content creator consumer, need to hear all this, hear all these different blips on the radar. And if you want to see what the truth is, you got to just push all that to the side and follow the numbers, because the numbers can't lie to you. The numbers aren't influenced by content creation. You got to open up the document, read that boring document. Luckily, they have table of contents and you can go just to the thing you want to if you want to, right? But read that thing. That's not going to lie to you. That is not trying to
Will's final
influence you
thought.
for clicks
Read.
and engagements.
Read people.
Read and look at numbers,
Read the damn thing.
because otherwise it is so easy to be lazy, and we are all lazy consumers. All of us are lazy consumers. And we're always being manipulated. Every single time you do this, it is a new, different type of manipulation that you're being hit with every single time. It always is.
But they know that. They know that we're tired and we are all short on time and we are all busy and we're all supposed to be doing something else.
Yeah.
They're counting on it.
Yeah.
But, you put yourself in a very vulnerable position when looking at financial crypto-based type content. So you are doing yourself a huge service if you just pause on the brakes and go, cool, I'm
Mhm.
feeling emotional after seeing these headlines. Let me dive into the numbers real quick. Let me take a look at whatever they're talking about real quick. Let me give it 10 minutes and see if it checks out. And then boom, you're done. Back to your day, right? So that's all I wanted to say.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I have a final thought for you, and I'm going to honor this comment that said, tell us a crypto knock joke. So take your final screenshots of the Rise Up Morning Show, the Discord. Find us there. We'll be back tomorrow. But now tune in for what is hopefully the best knock jokes you ever heard about crypto. Knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Guys, I'm going to need you to pick it up. DeFi.
DeFi who?
By who?
Definitely should have taken profits earlier. Okay. Knock.
Rug the show.
Who's there?
Rug.
Oh God. Rug who?